Hello and welcome to the program. I am Suren. Let us talk about special breathing techniques and exercises. I used to think that breath is used especially when it is always played a greater role in personal development, apart from so-called psychic involvement. What you are exercising for life, as we all do, therefore is not just to breathe in and out in order to live our lives, which we all humans do anyway. The priests of old and groups of mystics throughout the centuries have discovered that breathing exercise especially quickens the personal development a little further for psychic perceptions to improve, perhaps even bringing one closer to the world of the spirit. What is not commonly realized by majority of people is not just breathing, as it contains a special property of energy, if you like, and is known as prana. It is not only necessary to intake oxygen alone, but to absorb that special energy as prana, for it is similar to the energy of electricity or even thought. This is probably why it is believed that it enters into the newly born or becomes newly born's first breath, and that is known as anima, as in Latin, which translates into the soul and the breath. Some people, as you may know, live to eat rather than eating to live. And so they use the breath to stay alive, primarily, rather than using it as a tool to carry their soul to the world of the spirit, as we are told. So, start by watching your breath, one by one, and you will learn about many wonderful things. Please accept it without bias. Give it at least 50-50 chance. However, when and if you are nervous or excited, your breathing will be fast and your pulse rate will follow that speed. When you are naturally relaxed, probably after you have performed your daily meditations, you will find if you are close to the rate of normality and your breathing's slower than when you started. What is being mentioned here means exactly that. The proper control of your breath can lead you to become one with the energy of the cosmos. In his autobiography, Nothing So Strange, Ford says students of psychic development should find out that rhythmic breathing has a peculiar effect in producing a peculiar kind of energy. What this energy is, a debated question. Whatever its intrinsic nature, however, it is felt as the current and a definite force, vitalizing agent. Again, not only in meditation, there are various methods of breath control, and they are called pranayama. These exercises, which appear most frequently in the writings of those who have actually made spirit contact, and we will be talking about these issues soon. You might need to shorten your normal heartbeats, which you might need to monitor by placing your first 3 fingers of the right or left hand over the opposite wrist and checking that you could change the speed of them. And once you have established and or stabilized your pulses, you can start this part of the exercise. First of all, you will need to sit comfortably and breathe in through your nose while mentally counting your pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. When you have come to the count of 6, stop breathing in briefly and hold your breath for the count of 1, 2, 3. Then slowly exhale again to the count of 6. Rest for 3 counts and continue. This exercise can be repeated a few times a day, perhaps about 5 minutes for each session. And a week later, we might add a few more exercises to it, perhaps as, for example, 10 minutes each. This particular exercise is the most basic in your mastery of breath control. Once this exercise has been mastered, and it will be needed to use whenever possible, and it is called grand psychic breath. Like the meditation It releases also psychic energy, which can be used to make contact with our spirit friends. That is, if it is your intention. A contact with the other dimension. Sit comfortably now, and with the left fingers gently pressing, close your left nostril and breathe in through the right for the count of 6. Hold your breath to 3 counts. Then gently close the right nostril and exhaling through the left. You may do this to the count of 6. Rest for 3 counts. Gently close the right nostril and breathe in through the left for 6 counts. Hold your breath logically while closing the left nostril, and then inhale through the right for 6 counts. This exercise can be repeated once again. When it is practiced as it should be, the whole of your body begins to tingle, and this feeling fills very much your entire being. This is an excellent exercise to practice when feeling depleted of energy before practicing meditation. Once this exercise is mastered and the flow of psychic energy or prana is felt in the correct way, the student should direct this energy to various chakras or psychic energy centers of the body. These centers are as follows. The forehead, the back of the head, the base of the brain, which is often called as medulla, the hollow of the throat, the solar plexus between the belly button and the breastbone, the sacral region, or the lower tip of the spine, and of course the reproductive area. Can one use sound to contact spirit? Question mark. Primarily through the meditation techniques, that is, and breath, one can relax the physical body. Once sensitives used sound to contact the spirit world or the other dimension. We have soon to start some meditation seriously, as it had been used to relax the body quickly by concentrating on the spiritual centers. You are, of course, one of those who show bodily changes during their transition or transitional stage. There's a pulse rate response to what we are trying to explain. It goes higher. In the ancient times, it was used to create a meditative state or similar functions. In the ancient times, sound was used to activate pituitary and pineal glands. The pituitary is found just about 1 inch behind the root of your nose. If you have functionality issues that can affect the growth in other issues of the body, however, there are counterparts which now have much to do with spiritual development, like everything else in the universe. It consists of matter and energy. Research of the so-called endocrine or endocrine glands have shown spiritual or psychic functions. Some exercises could cause reaction between these two glands, which then allows the passage of energy through Antaharana, the psychic bridge. One other type of exercise is by sitting in a relaxed position and listening to the sound of a mantra like Rama for 7 times. This is done by breathing out the sound. Ra, and then Ma, till the last volume of air is almost spent. We are told that it is important for your breath to be used completely for the sound of Rama. Before chanting, one needs to be sure to take a very deep breath. This needs to be repeated at least 7 times, and after a little rest again, repeat it, but this time 9 times. This needs to be practiced at least once every day, along with everything else, like the prescribed exercises and daily meditations. How can you awaken the love or the throat center? Question mark. This is also where the thyroid gland is located. It is said that apparently it is here that you will feel that heat of love for later. It is passed onto the heated center. We are told that the center must be awakened if one is to make contact with friends in the spirit or the other dimension or another planet. Now, a further exercise which needs to be practiced. Sit. Be comfortable and relax first. After centering your attention on the throat, imagine a bright orange light covering this area. Now take a deep breath, and as you exhale completely, in tune with the mantra Tho, pronounced as in thro or tho. Yes, we are told to be chanting for 5 days, 5 times a day, while concentrating on the color of the throat center. That is, if you are at a monastery or in a temple. Let me tell you a little bit about some other visualization exercises. Call them release exercises, if you like, and they are useful in creating the correct spiritual or psychic stage. But not everyone who practices these will be able to enter into a trance. However, for some mediums or channelers, if you like, it is doubtful whether it is actually necessary. And those who want to enter a deeper trance in order to work as a medium or a channeler, because many simply tune in or repeat orally what do they hear or feel. While wishing to go into a deep trance, many experiments pointed out that it has to come about on its own accord, and there is no pressure being forced. You have heard me correctly. Not all of them would have a particular gatekeeper or controller, or so does it not seem as if to enter a deep trance and stay in order to pursue our so-called spirit friends. Besides, they will have different guardian angels or controllers, as well as different beliefs and thoughts. However, children who often see spirit friends or spirit playmates, they are not in need to be tranced, and that is only quite natural. Once you have succeeded in relaxation, you can imagine seeing a globe of light in your mind. You need to see this later clearly, much clearer, without any markings whatsoever. Practice this at least 3 times a day for a whole month, we are being advised. After practicing this once again, visualize you could have a white light floating above your head. This time, you will be by yourself on the long road. Feel yourself being drawn up into it at the same time, and make sure it is to be sent down into you. Imagine that you are standing in the center of that white light. After completing your meditation, just look at your old picture of your loved ones whom you want to contact. After you are completely relaxed again, visualize the face of your departed friend or a relative. See and feel it clearly, as if that person was standing right in front of you. Then, to call the name of this person over and over again. Practice this exercise as it is at least once a day for about 6 days or a whole week. You may want to replace the water and flowers in the vase if you have already set something like this on the table, as some people do, and had a white candle to burn continually. That makes it very spiritual, doesn't it? After completing this exercise, that old picture should be returned to its special position next to the water. There's a glass of water and flowers, and it already is set up. Remove it from this position only when you meditate each day, and replacing it when you have finished your meditation. I'd like you to share with me a creative visualization meditation now. However, you might already be interested in having a short journey with me together. However, before we begin, we will have to prepare ourselves by slowing and deepening our breathing and relaxing our bodies. Right now, you know what to do and how to go about it. Doing very well. Indeed, take your time, relaxing your toes, your entire legs, your torso, your head, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your fingers, and take a moment or two, and you are thoroughly relaxed. Now you can close your eyes and just let it be. Just imagine we have begun our journey along the country lane. We are walking very slowly as we talk to each other, amicably, gently, above all of the talk. Beautiful laughters filling the air. We indeed appreciate the fragrance of all the wildflowers and the classic roses. Commuting there, they are probably pomegranates, oranges, apples, plums, and peaches around here. Look at that sapling growing well. Last autumn, its seed fell. It is so peaceful here. All you can hear, beautiful signs of, or even sounds of, all sorts of birds. One wishes to stay here longer, but as that time prevails, as usual, we will know by a beautiful hedge which has been cut and shaped perfectly, almost to seem unreal. Each leaf pushing it in color and shape, weaving together into an enclosing blanket. We reach the white gate, the only way in or out of the garden. We may need to ask their permission. Now we are going through a narrow path in front of us, and the gate closes behind us. We make our way along this narrow path. I feel that we should really think the individual who opens the gates for us. And we feel our child changes in our bodies, childlike. Can you feel it? And feel so fresh air is definitely not unexpected and unusual in this world. It feels so fresh. And there is a world all around us feeling as if it is along as we realize this emanating from probably all loved ones of ours and friends who passed on to this great beyond, and perhaps even through the garden. I'm certainly looking forward to meeting them, and certainly looking forward to discover new flowers and other vegetations and fruits. Are you interested in gardening? I certainly am. Time has passed, and we have been looking for some time now to this beautiful garden, and happy in silent communion, would you say, with each other. Strangely, however, we seem to perceive or even hear each other's thoughts Oh dear, one has to be so very careful here, which one fits. Well, finally, we reach the other side of the garden, as you can feel and see. It certainly is breathtaking and truly lovely. I hope you are enjoying yourselves. This is quite a contrast compared with the beauty of the lane along which we started our walk. It is truly meticulously trimmed. Every blade of grass and the lawns are very beautifully aligned with their neighbors. And the borders are filled with flowers, which I cannot describe. Can you? This is certainly a joyful variety of perfume that I feel, and color in here. I'm sure we go deeper and deeper into the garden, and more aware we become of the presence of its spiritual wonders. They are beautiful, so beautiful that I've never seen any of that before. And the water reflects the sun just as is in a mirror, and every detail of the scenery is reflection of beauty, reflecting to you. What a paradise-like place it is for the artist. I wish I could have my paints and usual things and brushes to do a work of art, an oil painting perhaps, but I can keep it in my mind for now and do it later when I'm home. And reflecting a piece of heaven indeed. If humanity would change their attitude to each other, upon the earth upon which they live, there would be fantastic peace, like the gorgeous leaves upon the water, glittering, the beautiful sunshine. But the sun is not like the one we all know. It is more diffused and more pleasant to look at. Can you notice the surface of the lake, which is full of heavy pinks and white blossoms? Here we can stay for a little while if you like. If you want to sit and look around you, you are welcome to do so. If you want to sit by the water's edge and come back a little later, you may do that too. I'm listening to the birds. Also, they are singing, flying amongst the trees. There can be no particular home for them. They are free. Can you recognize some of them anyway? Look at that. Look at the butterflies. They are flying and floating from one flower to the other. There's a small one, probably called Cabbage Patch. They are so small. Oh, look, here is one. Can you see this? Its blue wings striped with white. How unique it is, and the other butterflies. Are you interested in butterflies? Once upon a time I was very interested when I was at primary school. Remember it very well. I'm sure you do remember certain things yourself. After watching all this beautiful wildlife, look at your own reflections in the water. If you can make sure you don't fall in. And also try to see who might be just behind you in the reflection. Try also to hear what you see. Do you? Have you seen your image in the water without falling? Did you notice someone behind you? Has anybody else seen them? I feel that your loved ones, you know by yourself, you know who they are, who passed on from the earth life, but they are not gone altogether. They still surround you with their love and their care. Take your time. Now, a little while has passed, and I think you feel that it is almost time to go back. Go to your thoughts together before we begin. Show me the questions. What have those presences converged or conveyed to you? You don't have to tell me. Just keep it all in your mind. Do you remember everything you have experienced? What have those people you have seen in the reflections spoken to you, if they did, or conveyed to you? When you put your legs inside the water, was it deep or shallow? With the pebbles on the bottom? Did any color or shape attract your attention? Was the water very cold? What do you remember of the predominant shade of flowers you noticed? Which birds took your attention? These items we can relate to each other and discuss their significance, and when we return, if you like, can we also have a number of few pathways I see? We can take on our way back to the gate now. We can either stay with others, or you can choose your own pathway. But you may not know that we should all stay together. For now, just observing this beautiful place, spending a beautiful time. What do you see as you walk along? The very best display you have ever seen, I would say. Should you wish, the Spirit will give you a rose of the color of your choosing. Keep that in your mind as a token of love for you to hold in your heart. Now it seems that we have come again to the spot where all the paths meet besides the white gate, and where the hinges hides the entrance to the garden from those so-called unwanted intruders. Now we better check that all our party is here and has received your loved one's farewell. We will see you again soon, I'm sure. We don't want to leave, but we know there is a gate opening. We can always return back and offer our thanks for our lovely day, which we have certainly enjoyed. Now, we will walk together, hearing the gate closing behind us. If you wish, you're welcome to pick some of the wildflowers, you know, those tiny little things. That's quite beautiful, but some must be left behind for the future. Take your time. We're going to be back, but for now it's time to ground ourselves. Perhaps tapping your feet on the floor and smiling at each other. Stretching. Perhaps even ready to talk of what we have experienced. Let there be peace. Welcome back to Earth life. That is beautiful here too. To enjoy it in our own surroundings. Gently open your eyes. And this brings us to the end of this session and this episode. We will meet again by the next episode. Until then, keep smiling and be happy. Thank you.